Bring me you're tired, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed and anxious, yearning for some joy in life. It's time to go out and play. Hello and welcome back to Playgrounding. This is Kara Stewart-Fortier. In today's episode, I dare you to try not to laugh, especially toward the end of this episode. It will be nearly impossible, I promise. Today, you're going to hear from co-founders of the recently launched Playful Mind project. They're play experts Jessica Brustad and Rona Lewis. And the focus of their launch is on one of the hardest hit demographics during the COVID-19 pandemic, working moms. With the infection counts breaking records here in the US and with the predictions of the dark winter coming with infections at an all-time high, there's never been a better time for the work that Rona and Jessica do. And to put it in perspective, in August of 2020, Forbes reported that the female labor force participation rate dipped below 55% in April of 2020 for the first time since February of 1986. Now let that sink in. In 1986, I was in the 6th grade, and I remember what a big deal it still was that women were doing it for themselves. And I never dreamed that we would be back here again. But here we are. And for women who are still holding on to their jobs, the struggle to do it all is having a very negative impact on mental health. And that was a big enough problem before all of this even began. So Jessica and Rona, they're not therapists, but their work is informed by therapeutic exercises like cognitive behavioral therapy. And you're going to hear all about that. They specialize in stress relief through purposeful and attuned play using the interactive games and exercises that help alleviate stress and overwhelm. Their customized sessions include anything from improv, breath work, laughter yoga, wordplay, exercise, and meditation. And all of it is depending on the moment and what their client needs in that given moment. I know because I did a sample session before this episode so I could get a better feel for what they do. And it was such an amazing experience for me that I will tend to gush throughout this episode quite a bit. But I need you to understand I have no affiliate relationship with Playful Mind Project at all. I'm just a huge believer in what they're doing and that it's urgently needed for anyone who's experiencing stress and mental health problems during the pandemic. It's just they're specifically letting moms know that they're there for them right now. So over the next 2 weeks, I love it so much that I'm having individual episodes with each of them. Next week, Jessica and I will be taking a deeper dive into issues around mental health, and Rona and I will explore her work helping businesses keep stress at bay as teams encounter the new challenges that come with remote work. So I'd encourage you to join Playgrounding's Something to Look Forward to Facebook group. It's an Advent-like countdown to 2021 where we'll be exploring themes from these 3 episodes, as well as celebrating holiday traditions centered on finding light in dark times. And I think that's exactly what Rona and Jessica are set out to do right now, especially heading into this dark winter. You can sign up to also attend weekly Zoom events hosted by me and free, by the way, free, to connect and talk about what we're going through and learn from each other. So you'll find a direct link to Something to Look Forward to Facebook group on Playgrounding's homepage. So now, let me introduce you to these 2 amazing women. I'll share a short version of their bios this week and then dive a little deeper into their backgrounds and their individual episodes. So here we go. Jessica Brustad is an experienced sales and project manager who now does improv and stand-up comedy. She's also a 500-hour RYT yoga instructor and laughter yoga leader. Yes, that is right. She actually teaches people how to laugh. She is the Playful Mind Project's resident mom on the team in charge of all things mom-related. She's worked with individuals struggling with various mental health issues, as well as worked on her own postpartum issues. Corporate cultures and communities from California to Norway. She's a professional motivational speaker, reality TV star, and a former cast member of the National Comedy Theater's Sunday Company in San Diego. Her unique high-energy style mixed with mindfulness will entertain, educate, and motivate you toward wellness, balance, and most of all, joy. Rona Lewis is a play instigator and creativity coach with over 10 years consulting experience and 20 years of C-level corporate experience. She's also a professional speaker and Reiki master who loves dogs, fitness, art, and artisan ice cream. She's the resident expert in working with business in play for productivity and creativity, team building, brainstorming, and getting out of your head. She's worked with over 50 companies in the United States. Her rapier wit will charm the heck out of you while teaching you to flip your viewpoints to gain resilience and authenticity. Okay, I hope you're ready for this. If you're feeling a little grumpy right now, this is the perfect episode for you. I dare you not to laugh along with us. Here's Rona and Jessica. I hardly know what to say that I'm so excited about this interview. It's the culmination now of each interview that I've done with the two of you, in addition to a sample session I did with Playful Minds Project last week. That was just mind-blowing. So here we are. Rona and Jessica. Hello.
I am the total woo girl of the two of us.
Right. So
and
awesome.
I'm the woo woo girl. So
that's the woo woo.
I'm the the Reiki practitioner, the crystals, and so that works.
So we got the woo and the woo woo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just sounds like we're stuttering through the woos. That's why.
Well, thank you guys so much for this entire process that we've been through together with Playful Minds Project. I am just so honored that I get to do 3 episodes, and it's 3 separate episodes. When you first said it, I was like, well, I don't know, it might get redundant. And then I was like, nope, not at all. There's so much depth to what you guys do, and even just the website by itself. But then each one of you could bring such unique perspectives on what you do. So let's go ahead. So this is the first one in the series of 3 with Playful Minds. Let's just introduce it right now. Which one of you wants to fill us in? What is the Playful Minds Project?
Okay, well, one of the things that we're most proud of is the fact that it is a women-owned business.
Woo!
And
Or woos.
Thank you for that extra woo, Jeff.
Yeah.
But basically, we offer fun and interactive games that help alleviate stress and overwhelm based on purposeful and attuned play. That's like the big thing. And then we break it down through B2C and B2B and that sort of thing.
B2C and B2B.
Business to consumer and business to business.
Okay, great. Your business to consumers and your business to other businesses. So what kinds of different packages do you have? Like, what would you do that was for a business that you wouldn't be doing for someone personal? Just to sort of get a quick.
Yeah, well, it absolutely depends on the size of the business and what they're after. We're going to offer a lot more team building things and group things if we're talking something like a Google or a company that has 150 to 1,000 employees, and we can certainly offer laughter yoga groups and meditation sessions, but brainstorming sessions and things that help the corporate culture be more inclusive. That helps because of turnover. If you don't feel like you're part of a group, you're going to leave. And if you're not appreciated and do things that help spark your innovation and creativity, it's not going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Whereas a small business of maybe 5 to 13 people, we can do a lot more things that are one-on-one or one-on small groups that we can really attune to them to kind of meet them where they are emotionally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll speak a little bit to the B2C side, if that's all right.
Sure. Have at it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we find our specialties, where Rona and I have both been motivational speakers and worked with corporate clients for the last several years prior to this pandemic, where we are no longer physically going into these corporations or speaking on stages. So just wanted to back up a little bit and let you guys know the history of where we came from.
Right.
We definitely know what we're doing. We've been doing this, but we've never done it together. And I think what's so cool about it is that, Rona really focuses on productivity and creativity and team building and all these awesome skills for the corporate world. And I, even in my corporate experience, have always really focused more on the individual. And so that's why I'm kind of working on the B2C arm, business to consumer, also because I am the chair mom. So
chair mom.
That's right. That's right.
I'm the chair mom. I have recently become a mother, and it really changed everything for me. It really changed my approach to corporate wellness and individual self-care. And so we're really focused on helping women working from home, which that's, Rona side with the B2C, but if you're a mom, you're a woman working from home. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're, whatever it is. So we're focusing on them. And so I think, Rona, you mentioned this a lot, and I love how you say it around, attunement is really meant to be one-on-one. You can't really attune to a group. So that's why what we do with businesses, larger businesses, very different than the one-on-one. And Kara, you were able to experience some of that one-on-one with me. And I had so much fun playing with you. And what you experienced is basically the offering for consumers.
Yes. And it was such an amazing thing. And I talked a little bit about it in my conversation you'll hear with Rona as well. But it was just this unexpected, I was having a horrible day and I had the choice between, or I woke up and I was dreading the week to come, let alone the day. And I had the choice between going, well, I'm going to try this out. I'm going to check out this thing. And man, I want to be in a better mood right now to make this, I need to be happier to make this work. But I was not in the mood, but I was with you anyway. And I just, in the moment that we kind of met and the way you approached me was not to we're going to make you happy. This is going to be great. It was immediate. We got to know, we didn't know each other, but we kind of got into this moment of comfort, as much as you can with an acquaintance or someone you just meet. And then you went straight to an exercise that brought me into the moment, and you got it immediately what was happening with me. And the rest of the session, even though it was only a half an hour, I literally walked away from it like a big, huge, giant backpack had just been removed from my back. I walked into the rest of the day feeling really different. And I honestly just didn't get that. I've never kind of done that with anyone before. So it was weird. And I just thought, oh my goodness, if a working mom has a choice how to spend their time, which there is so little of, I can attest, I'm not a working mom, but I can say, if you can put 30 minutes aside by yourself to do something that'll make the rest of your day better, this is it. Totally, this is it. It was so great.
I'm so grateful to hear that, because two things that makes me think of. Number one, it's for everyone, anyone dealing with stress and overwhelm, even on the B2C side, the business to consumer. We specialize in helping mothers because they're the hardest hit from this pandemic. And we want to do the most good that we can right now and always. And the second thing that just made me, obviously I'm getting all the feels. I'm like, oh, I love when I hear that I'm able to help someone, or that messaging that we have is resonating, is this feeling of, a lot of people think exactly what you thought. Oh, I'm not in the mood to play. Oh, I'm not in a good space right now, so this won't be good for me. Instead, I should do X, Y, Z. And that's that's what purposeful play is, and practice play. We're not playing. This is what we say in laughter yoga. We're not laughing because we're happy. We're happy because we're laughing. So it's practicing it. And by the end, your mood shifted. That's what I'm hearing. Did your mood shift?
It did.
Yeah, because shift happens.
It does. And it was that plus the nurturing nature that you guys bring to the table too. It was this beautiful cocktail of everything I needed in that moment. So
I like that beautiful cocktail. I think we need to steal that for our marketing, Rona, because we do like to say we're trying to be, the virtual glass of wine.
That's great. For you. That is so great. I love that.
I'll drink to that.
Well, I know you guys have chosen to work with women in particular, because I really want to get to the kind of what you guys do, because attuned play is very specific. What we did that day was very specific. It was planned out. Yeah, for me, and not just specific as a practice, but for me. And I kind of want to first of all, just why women? Why did you choose to focus on women right now?
Well, Jessica actually convinced me to, no, she did because yes, I mean, parents, it is men and women, but we have the statistics on the website to show that women really do care for everyone.
Yep.
So go ahead, Jessica, take it away.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, it's been an issue for a long time in our society. And a lot of things are happening right now, right? The election and all this craziness that is really, we've kind of overboiled, right, in America throughout this pandemic.
Yeah.
And that is really brought to the surface old problems and new. And it's a problem that we've had in our society for a while around women, females, anybody who identifies being female. Let's make sure that's clear. Right. Is that anybody who identifies being female typically has what's called the female mental load or the mother's mental load. And like I said, it's a female mental load. It's not just related just to mothers, but basically it's this thing in our society that we are responsible, whether we take that on ourselves or our partners or our managers or our people around us, kind of let us take it on. Yep. Oh, it's Jennifer's birthday party in accounting next week. Let's get together and pitch in to get a cake and a card. Or, oh, for my husband, it's your niece Adriana's birthday and she really likes that My Little Pony stuff. So I'll go pick it up. And it's his niece, or it's this guy in accounting or whatever else. It's always us. And that's because we are caring. And it's because we are more emotional and attuned to meeting the emotional needs of the people around us. We are natural caretakers. The problem is, that's not the problem. We don't want to take away that. The problem is that we allow ourselves to take care of all of those other things before we take care of ourselves.
Yes.
And that's the most major problem towards the stress and overwhelm. And a lot of times it relates all the way back down to postpartum issues, right? When you have a baby, you're taking care of this thing so much that you can't take care of yourself. So from that all the way to being a grandmother, all the way to being a single woman working in an organization, we all have the female mental load. And with the pandemic, there have been studies, and Melinda Gates talks about this all the time, that women are going to be the population that gets set back the farthest. Oof. During this pandemic and after the pandemic, women are going to be the one. And it's because we're the caretakers. We're going to quit our job so that we can remote learning with our kids. We're going to take care of our elderly parents who might be getting sick or whatever else, as opposed to taking that promotion or doing that extra thing on the weekend with our work. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to alleviate the overwhelm from this female mental load. Have you play with it, try things on with yourself, with your family, with your friends. Allow yourself to have these maybe uncomfortable conversations because you've played with us already, practice. Yes. And then be able to help you make these little shifts in your life with the people around you. And that translates to big shifts in terms of your mental space. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we focus on women.
Right. But I want to add to that because, it's all these things add to the mental, it's not a mental load, but it's a thought process that I'm not good enough, so I have to prove myself. And the more you do this, the better you feel and the more accomplished you feel upon doing these exercises and doing them well, the more you can take control of your life and say, you know what? I deserve some me time. I need this for me. There's no blood. You can wait half an hour for your sandwich to be made, or go get your own. Yeah. I'll be back. I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's 100% true. And I think the other reason why we said right now, Kara, specifically on self-care, a lot of self-care options that are specifically targeted for women are unavailable right now and will remain unavailable for a long time. Yep. Massages, mani-pedis with a friend, just going out to freaking drinks or brunch with a friend.
Yep. Taking trips.
taking trips, facials,
anything like that.
Anything, getting yourself, taking care. A lot of these things, because it's physical touch and whatever else that we have really become accustomed to. And I think that's a point too, is that we're trying to focus on self-care instead of just a treat yourself. Right?
Yes.
Treat yourself with I'm going to treat myself to $150 massage or whatever it is once a month or once a year sometimes, just for Mother's Day or your birthday. Instead, this is a practice. So the price point is a lot lower because we want women to practice this and start seeing real changes in their self-care routine, as opposed to, oh, I'm going to treat myself with my ladies one day or by myself one day.
Yeah.
Well, and it also works a different part of the body.
Yeah.
I love a good massage. Who doesn't love a good mani-pedi? But that's just a physical thing. You can still be stressing in your head. My shoulders are in my ears, and so I need a massage. So it's like Western medicine versus Eastern medicine. I'm a great believer, and I think Jessica is too, of integrated medicine. Because Western medicine treats the symptoms. Eastern medicine very often treats the core of what the issue is. So by going into self-care for the mental load, that allows that physical part to be to start to relax and be okay without the massage, because we can kind of just let those shoulders come down and say, I'm good. I just had a great time. I have some tools to move forward with.
Yeah.
And, I'll be better with practice. This is not a one-off thing. We offer one session. It's great for presence, things like that. But as Jessica says, practice makes permanence. So we give you tips and games and things like that to do, but the more you do them, and we have like boatloads of them, so it's always going to be
hundreds.
It's always going to be different. You're not doing the same thing over and over again. You may be doing the same thing in a slightly different way, but it just makes that overall lesson for yourself that much rounder. There's a lot of ways to go to it. And to help yourself become more resilient and vulnerable and authentic. So that's
confident.
Right.
Yeah.
And all these things are a benefit from what we do.
Yeah. And I kind of want to just bring up sort of kind of the elephant in the room, kind of the thing we haven't brought up yet, which is mental health. Because mental health, like all of these things we're talking about, when what I was experiencing in the moment that you were, approached me, I was having a really rough day, and but I think a lot of people, especially the kind of women that you want to reach, are having way more than a really rough day. Mental health has always been a problem, but now it's like through the roof, and your whole practice makes permanence. A lot of what you do is infused with things that we've learned from mental health practitioners, even if you aren't one yourself. You told me, I'm not a therapist, but the things that we were practicing were things that I recognized, some of them from things we talked about, from things like my eating disorder group and places like that, cognitive behavioral therapy, but made fun. So, I really feel like if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about directly about the mental health aspect and what people would get out of it.
Sure. So I love, by the way, hearing that. And that's kind of what it is. Prior to forming the Playful Mind Project, I, as a motivational speaker, used to always say, and this is what I practice with people, is I take a cognitive behavioral therapy approach to improv and laughter yoga. And for me, this is a very real and personal connection, because I believe that I was able to I never like to use the word treat or cure. I was able to better manage, and instead of becoming a mental health survivor, become a mental health thriver through doing that, taking that cognitive behavior. So I have been in therapy for since I was 21 with my first panic attack. So what is that? I'm 37. So a long time. And I am very clear on saying I am not a mental health practitioner. My sister-in-law is, so I got it all around me, and I've been practicing for a very long time, but I am a dedicated practicer of mental health. So I take what I've learned through different books and different therapists and modalities that I've gone through. And whenever I was in improv or in a laughter yoga class or in yoga, I was like, ooh, here's a connection. Here's a way I can play with that concept. Ooh. And I think when I've worked with individuals and communities doing this since about 2015, and every community or every individual I've worked with have said similar things to what you just said. Oh, I learned about that in therapy, or I heard that once, or I read that in a self-care book, but it was never like made tangible where I could practice it like that, or it was fun.
It's on a worksheet. So you're like literally reading a worksheet and thinking to yourself, or journaling, which does feel like work.
It feels like work. It's work. So that's the thing too, when we say purposeful and attuned play, purposeful meaning we're working, we're working. I actually have a motivational speech from a couple of years ago where I talked about, play and work are not the opposites. They're not. Mm-mm. They actually can go hand in hand, and they should. If they do go hand in hand, you are in flow. You are enjoyment. You are, and it's a possibility. And I think people just think, oh, the opposite of play is work, right? All work and no play makes Jane a dull girl, whatever. Nope. We're really here to say, if you have a playful mind, you can be working on your mental health. You can be more productive and a better worker for your employer. There's so many things that can happen that come from having a playful mind. And so that cognitive behavioral therapy approach, which is all around practicing, but people don't want to practice it because it feels like work.
And it's boring.
It's boring. Well, if we make it fun and playful, then you want to practice it. Yeah. And you will recall it easier. You mentioned, after our session, you had recalled a laughter yoga thing and you brought it up to somebody else and then you did it. I don't know how many times you've gone out of therapy and then gone to somebody and be like, oh yeah, like we did this and you should do it. Like we don't really want to share about our therapy as much either. And it's not really fun. No. But this is like, you want to share it. You want to play with people. You want to have them practice it and try it on. Yep. And that's what we want. So the mental health part is huge. I've suffered from lots of different things. You'll hear that in my episode, my whole story. So I don't want to touch on it too much here, but as you mentioned too, this pandemic is really showing Americans specifically where we are in this country with mental illness. There's either not enough treatment out there. People are getting turned away left and right for help. Left and right being turned away. We're full. We don't accept your insurance. Oh, we don't have time for this. And we want to be, again, not a replacement, but a form of self-care that goes beyond that treat yourself, beyond that, oh, now my shoulders feel good for a day. And you're actually working up here. Oh, did I say working? I meant playing.
Playing.
You're actually playing up here to make purposeful, real changes in your life.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to deliver. That's what we're going to deliver for you.
Yeah. I want to add to that.
Yeah.
Because, when you go into therapy, one of the things that I talk about in some of my talks is that stress comes from replays and imaginings. You replay things in your mind and you make mountains out of molehills, and then you future. I just know this is what's going to happen. This is what they're going to say, and all that comes out in therapy. We don't go that deep. Part of our secret sauce is keeping you in the present moment.
Yes.
Because it's impossible to stress when you are in the present moment. So by getting you to play, you get out of that. Depressive mindset is a very strong word, but the overwhelm and the stress, because you are in that replay and imagining mindset, we just kind of bring it together into that, as Jessica said, state of flow.
Yeah.
When you are in that state of flow, you are present, you are having a blast, and you're just letting it come out as it comes out. And all of a sudden you're happy. You cannot play if you are cranky and you're stressed, right?
Yep.
Try it.
But you can start a session cranky or depressed.
I can attest to that.
Exactly. But that's why, So, but if you notice, when she started with you, you weren't quite playing yet. You were centering yourself and bringing you from out here to in here. Once you're in here, you're present.
Yeah.
And once you're present, you feel safe.
Yeah.
And safe is that huge word that allows you to play.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And what was it? The quote that you said, safety?
I always say,
safe. Yeah.
From safety, we can find our silly.
That's right. That's right.
and I really believe that they're interchangeable. And so during that session, you might have noticed too, even just 30 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes is a small amount of time.
Kind of blew my mind.
But it also, it goes by so quick too, right? Like quicker than 30 minutes because you're in flow, you were present. But what's interesting is we can get so much done in that 30 minutes because you're in a state of presence and flow and no stress. So what's interesting is that you can feel, it's like we're not just learning about things and then you go do them. We're practicing in that 30 minutes. It's not a session where I'm like, well, you should do this and you should drink 5 glasses of water a day and you should, we don't should on anybody, you know, stop shooting on me.
No shooting.
No shooting. It's all playing together.
It's all shifting. It's not shooting.
Yeah, no shooting.
No shifting. Shift, don't should. I love
Shift,
it.
don't should. Yeah, that should be our new hashtag.
Make stickers.
And what I wanted to say is that that shift, when we're playing together and we're tuning, right?
Yeah.
The way I play with you is not the way I play with Rona. And the way that Rona would play with you. So another great option about our offering is that you'll work with a different stress shifter, whether it's myself or Rona or someone else. And if for any reason that wasn't vibing, even though we are very skilled and highly trained in being able to do this with really pretty much anybody, if that's not working, you let us know and we'll try on a different stress shifter and we'll find the right match for you. Just like how in therapy or other things, people are like, oh, I don't really think that teacher was right for me or whatever it may be.
Dating.
Just like
exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we are in the people business. You know, we are here, whether it's B2B or B2C, we are here for the individuals that we are with. And I hope that in that 30 minutes we shared together, you realize that I was there for you and I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because you were a playmate. I shouldn't use the word playmate. Crap. Now they're going to think, but they always think
That's all right.
and adult sex. They always think about that. But I was your playmate. Like you were my playmate. I was so, Rona and I love to play. We love to do
all
this.
the time. All the time.
We're not doing you any favors and you're not doing us any favors. We're in a state of play together. And how rare is that as an adult?
Yeah.
To be able to play with another adult for 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
And it's not sex.
Right. There's no pressure.
No, kind of like if a machine or like cleaning out your oil or doing, it does something where being in the present moment is like doing service on yourself as a human being. It's like taking it into the shop and, you know, and
females don't do that.
No. We'll do it for our outsides, but not our insides.
We'll do it for our outsides or, that's a massage, or we'll do it for other people.
Yeah.
We're so good at giving gifts and thinking of the best idea for them.
Yes. And that there's also the thing of that we're all very famous for, a lot of ladies, is the wine, which I love wine. I'm not saying anything but numbing, anything we're doing that numbs ourselves, sometimes we need that. But if that's all we're doing for ourselves, that can kind of get kind of ugly.
And that's become a big problem during these times.
It really has.
You're home, alcohol sales and delivery are up.
Yep.
And it's like, fine, I'm a huge wine drinker. Love me some wine. I will probably, be drinking multiple glasses tomorrow during Thanksgiving because but so there is no no's, right? There is no shoulds here in what we practice. It is that idea though of having that awareness that maybe this option, this virtual glass of wine for 30 minutes with a purposeful, attuned play master can give me that same feeling. There's a lot of mommy wine culture out there. A lot of it. And it's still funny, and you'll see it on our social media. If you're not following us, follow us at Playful Mind Project on Instagram and Facebook. But we'll share things where it's like, I'm drinking because my kids are killing me and whatever else. We're all about that. But it's this thing of figuring out what is really going to fill my cup.
Yes.
have a glass of wine on Thursday and have a play session with us on Saturday, because that's the other thing too. We don't carry regular hours of normal self-care options. We work late nights. We work early mornings before your kids wake up. We work during nap times. That's my specialty. Like right now, she's napping. And we work weekends. There is not a single day that we're not open. And so that's another thing, that during this pandemic, we needed to have more options. And especially with mental health, a lot of times it's Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And that's not a lot of options for people, especially people that have jobs or kids.
And kids.
And jobs and kids.
And,
oh wait, Rona, you're a little bit, your audio went down.
These are the moments where I say, how can we play with this? Yeah,
exactly. Do you want to jump on and jump off and jump back on and see if it's like some kind of weird Zoom thing?
So then Rona's going to leave the room.
Yes.
And we're going to do an improv game with this. So Rona doesn't know, she doesn't know what we're talking about right now.
Okay,
so she's be like the person who went out of the audience room. So we are going to do something called chain murder. So I killed you with a fork. Okay. So just know that's what it is. Oh, is she already hearing us?
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can hear you. Did you hear anything that we said?
No, go ahead.
Okay, great. So, no, it's nothing to give to you. You're playing a game. So we're let's go. Rona's like, I know. Rona knows me. All right, we're doing an improv game. So what you're going to do, Rona, is you're going to guess how I killed Kara. So you're going to guess what my murder weapon was, because let's just get crazy with this. There we go. So you're going to guess what the murder weapon is, because we are going to do some pantomiming, okay? So Rona, just guess out whatever comes to you. So this is something that
a banana. Okay.
Oh, we use on Thanksgiving. What are we going to use on Thanksgiving, Kara? You can act it out.
We're going to use.
What are we going to use on Thanksgiving?
A great big ladle.
It's kind of like that.
A two-pronged fork.
Look at that. It's more a fork. It's more stabbing. Okay.
Stabby.
Killed her with a fork.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was silly and ridiculous. And that is an example of what we do.
Exactly. And actually, I know that we were talking about maybe doing some sample games to share similar. But really quick before that, can you just tell me you have this 4-letter thing for PLAY ! Would you mind just sharing that really quick? One of you, I think it's worth saying. Here's what's
I realize Jessica's talking a lot more than I am, but so much of this is her expertise that the mental health and all this. And you know what? I'm all for it, because Jessica is the one who developed the program. So I am going to let her explain, and trust me, there'll be plenty of time for me to talk. So.
Absolutely.
You're going to be doing the game. You're going to do the games. I'll do the games. I just did that game. But yes, so play, it's actually, what I like to say is that play is not a 4-letter word, even though a lot of people think it is. It is a 5-letter word, because we put an exclamation mark on it. And it's our 5-step process is what we go through when we are in a session with you. And so basically P stands for plug in. So that is really speaking to the attunement process that both Rona and myself are trained in, to use play to attune with whoever we're with. And then we move into L. L is level the playing field. And leveling the playing field is all around meeting us where we're at. So where are we at that day? Meaning you and I. Kara, if you were in my session, you and I, where are we? It's not just where are you? Where are we? Let's make it even. And we're going to start doing some icebreakers or some little low stakes, low risk games to get you into that playful feeling. That's that from safety we can find our silly. And then we're in the flow, right? So now we're in the A, which is adapt and apply. So we are just taking games and we're seeing where they take us, right? Like, oh, this made me think of this. So now let's try this and blah, blah, blah. And how can I do this towards my life or with my partner or with my kid or whatever? Awesome. In flow, we're just bing, bang, boom and having fun. And then the Y is a callback to improv, which is a big part of my history and a big part of what has helped shaped my life. The Y stands for yes and. If anybody's ever heard of improv, I'm sure you've heard of the first rule of improv, yes and. And that is where we agree to the current reality and build on it. And the and is the biggest part. A lot of people practice gratitude and yes and acceptance. A lot of people get stuck though. And so this is yes, and. So we move into this. What we do is we take what we've just done and we'll move into more breath work again and integration, right? Digesting our play. And what's weird is, and I don't know if you'll speak to this, but you don't even know we're doing it because we're having fun. And then we have the exclamation point at the end, which is always key for Rona and I. We are two super positive people. We also are two like feel all the feels people. Like we get mad. I love saying the F word. Like we feel the feels. And so it's not toxic positivity. It's practicing positivity.
That's what I loved about it so much. Oh, sorry, I didn't have to say that. It was so good.
Yay. So the end, we always end on a high note. We always end with some kind of kicker of a game or some bust of laughter yoga or a secret handshake or whatever it may be. And that's so that when we leave you, we have a responsibility. We've met you where you're at, and you could be in a great place or you could be in a bad place. But by the end of that 30 minutes, my responsibility is to make sure you have shifted even 0.1% in a more positive direction. And that's the 5-step process.
It's beautiful. And I experienced it. It's amazing. It's actually better than a glass of wine, I have to say. It's totally worth it.
No calories. No calories.
Exactly. Exactly.
No hangover.
No hangover, nothing. Awesome.
And
well,
you laugh just as much.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, what are some things we can do? I know that in my session we danced, which I was outside in my neighborhood. I was trying not to make too much noise because it was kind of early in the morning, but then I finally lost my sense of like, nobody's watching, and I just had so much fun.
Because this is for you. This is for you. And even that is you practicing. That thing with that female mental load, caring about what other people need and think more than caring about what you mother effing need and think and feel. And I saw that change in you during that song.
Yeah, that does.
That's rad. It was beautiful.
Susie and the Banshees was my rebel music that I listened to when I was a teenager that I didn't want anyone in the church to know.
And I didn't know who they were. And it was like a rad song. And it reminded me, I was like, this reminded me when I was at concerts for like Jimmy Eat World back in the day. And I'm just like singing the lyrics and just doing my white girl dance, which is just this.
It pulls you in. It pulls you into a different headspace. It really did. And I needed that because I went real deep for a second and I was getting sad. And you're like, let's listen to this song. I'm like, woohoo, Susie.
And that's the thing. That's this play with all the feels. We're playing with emotions, but we're not playing with you. You know what I mean? We're not playing with you.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's very intentional the way that we work or play with people. So Rona, I want to have a game.
Yeah, let's do a game.
So I apologize for not looking straight in the camera because I was going over some of my lists. I'm like, oh, what kind of stuff can we
do with
you? So, I was thinking, look around, pick something that's around your desk. Come on, don't take forever. I'm kidding. All right. Oh, that's awesome.
What is that?
It's a clamp.
It's a clamp.
Oh, it's a clamp. Okay.
Okay. What else is it? What else can you do with it?
It's a fish.
Ooh, okay. I see it.
Okay.
Maybe it's a fish talking to me.
You can also use it to put your hair back.
I could.
My gosh. Put your hair in that right now.
Put your hair in that. So,
Here, I'll put the clamp on my headphones. There we go.
There you go. So, all right, Jessica. There you go. It's your turn, Jessica. What else can she do with it?
What else can she do with this? Okay. Well, I'm loving it as a headdress right now.
It's a good look.
It's a good look.
It's like a tech mohawk.
You know what? I wonder what would be good because I do this a lot with acupressure. Oh, but you've got your headphones on. You could also, I was going to say, if you could use it like a clamp on your earlobe.
Oh, that might hurt with this one.
But that's it's an acupressure point and it could feel really good. Let's just see, just slightly pull the earlobe down with it. Does that work? Slightly, feel the pressure.
Actually, that feels really good.
There you go.
Okay. So that's something I do with my fingers all the time, but we're doing it with that.
How does it feel so good?
Because it's a very specific point.
Okay.
There you go.
Interesting.
So, I mean, that's just like one sort of, what else is this? You take an object a scissors. What else can I do with this? Well, I can pretend it's if it's eyeglasses. I can.
Oh, you look like a bunny. It looked like a bunny ears.
I could do bunny ears with it. So yeah. How many things can you do with a fork? You can use it as a comb.
You can murder Kara in an improv.
You can. That's exactly. So that's kind of a fun thing. Let's combine breathing with something that makes it absolutely impossible not to laugh. So yeah. All right. We all know what the paw breath is, right? Paw.
I didn't know this until
Actually,
you.
I didn't either.
I showed her something. Yay! Okay. So when you, sometimes we don't realize that our jaw and teeth are incredibly tight. So if we make sure that our teeth don't touch and let our cheeks come out and just okay. Now take this and go to the horse breathing.
Oh yeah.
Good. Now try to smile and breathe like that. You can't.
I can't do it.
Right. That's what makes it so much fun.
Teeth not touching.
Right.
Smile.
Okay, doing this on Zoom so I can actually see how silly it looks too, besides how weird it feels.
Right. So as you can see, a lot of the reason we can get so much in 30 minutes is because these things, they take like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and they just make you laugh. And this is another reason why we didn't see. Now you're going to be giggling about this all day, which is great. That's one of the things that we love. Yeah. So we actually tried to, we were kind of doing, not A/B testing, but we thought about doing this for 45 minutes or an hour, and we realized it's too long. Because once you hit that 30-minute mark, you're going to start thinking, is this over yet? Are we almost done? Because I have this to do.
Yeah.
We don't want you to get out of that state of flow.
Right. So 30 minutes, it's like you want to leave them wanting more.
Mm-hmm. And that'll leave your brain wanting to carry this into your day.
Right. Yeah. So that's why these kind of games, you can get so much in that 30 minutes. And it's just like silly little things that even kids will love. And that's another thing. We bring out your inner child. Yeah. If your inner child doesn't come out, Jessica had a session the other day, and I'm not going to talk about who it was, but the person kept bringing themselves kind of out of the moment and saying, oh, this would be good for this group, or maybe you'd want to do this. And they started kind of helping. And that's not being in the moment.
Yeah.
So and sometimes that will happen with people because they're afraid to let themselves go. Mm-hmm. And that's why the practice is so important, because little by little, you'll trust us more, and you'll trust yourself more.
Yes.
To get in that fun place where, you just don't care. I give a motivational speech called 3 Little Words. And those 3 little words are, I don't care.
Wow. That is great. And that is what we talk about with the From Safety We Find Our Silly. So we might be able to get real silly the first time we meet. It might take 5, 10 sessions. It might take whatever it's going to take. Mm-hmm. Everybody's on their own trajectory with being able to feel safe and comfortable enough to be authentic, to do that. We are trained to help people get there quicker and with a more authenticity than even if they were working on things alone. Mm-hmm. And so what's great is that, even in that session, I was able to do things with that person that was able to help them, because it doesn't matter what you bring to the table. Mm-hmm. We're going to make sure you leave feeling more positive and feeling like you're and thinking, right? We want you to ponder things. like, oh, like, could I do that then? Or this could happen then. But in the session, we're not up here, right? We're not thinking. We're down here and we're doing. And that's why one thing we haven't spoken about yet is that after every play care session, we send a home play. So not homework, home play.
Yes.
We send you a follow-up email that goes through what we played together. So you don't have to be writing down notes or what was that thing? I really want to do it with my kid, because we want you in the moment, right?
Well, you had to go and pull me out of my note-taking self, and I just totally lost track of everything, and I didn't write anything down. And at the end, I was just like, well, I have to remember. And then I see this email in my inbox going, oh, good. I love it. That email is really great.
And we are full service.
I'm a full-on note taker of every single thing in the whole world, and it gets ridiculous.
And most women are. We like to write down our to-do list. We like to make sure we're better. I don't even want to use the word secretary, but we're, and it's like, we want to make sure that that mental load is off. You don't have to be like, oh, I got to remember this. I got to remember this. I got to remember this. We're going to do that for you. We're going to send you the email afterwards. Here's everything we did. And we're going to give you suggestions based on what we talked about in your real life, how you can apply those playful techniques and exercises to your week.
Perfect. This is so amazing. I could just literally go on and on with you guys, and I really want to someday. I can't wait until someday when we can open a bottle of wine and hang out together.
Yay!
Whatever that is.
And drink wine.
We'll play and have wine. And I get to meet your puppy dog, and so oh my goodness, and most of all, I get to meet your little one too. That'd be so. One of these days, we'll all get to be back together again. But until then, what you guys do over Zoom is such a beautiful gift, and it is. Wait, if you're listening, please just wait till you hear the one-on-ones with. Oh my God, so good. Both you'll get to know these women even better.
Can I ask you one question before we go?
Sure, absolutely.
So speaking to that, since it is over Zoom. When you were in the session with me, did you feel like the technology had any barrier to you being able to really let go and play with me?
That's a good question.
Probably the only thing was making noise where I was, just because I was having this thing with you in cyberspace, and it's like on my end, people could only hear me talk. I was a little bit nervous about that, but then when I moved, you said, well, move to a place where no one can see you. And I did. And then I didn't feel like I could vocally go where I wanted to go at first. But then by the end, I was doing the laughter exercises like crazy. And I was just like, partly because I think you recognize that. And if maybe we could close on the exercise that if you wouldn't mind, if we shared this one last exercise.
Of course.
That it felt so good just to laugh like that. And if it feels good to you to do a horse thing and try to smile and it makes you laugh, just put your phone up to your ear and nobody knows you're not having an amazingly hilarious conversation with your best friend.
Nobody knows that. So let's all put our phones at our ears. And we just talked to our best friend, and he or she just said the craziest story. So here we go.
No way. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to join the Something to Look Forward to Facebook group, where we'll be continuing these discussions. We'll be asking you for feedback on how together we can find light during dark times. You'll find a direct link to the group on the playgrounding.com homepage. See you there.